Happy summer! Yes, we made it! Mike Alexander, CPT and hard gainer coach extraordinaire here. We have made it to summer. Things are opening up again. The beaches are open. Most places that have beaches that aren't landlocked. And before we continue on, I just want to remind you, please subscribe to this channel and please like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you are enjoying what you're going to see. Now, as I mentioned in my last article, depending on where you are, gyms might or might not be opening up again, or they already are at this point. I might have even offered a basic routine to help you rebuild your strength base in my last article. I'll leave a link to that in my description box. But you know what I was thinking afterward? There's more than one way to skin a cat, and maybe deadlifts or 5x5 are not for everybody. And that's fine. So with that in mind, I dedicate this old school bodybuilding routine for those of you bodybuilding fans out there. This is for you. Today we're talking about the 20 rep squat routine. Some of you might be watching this and your legs are shaking thinking about it because you might have done it already, or some of you, your legs are shaking because you've heard of it but you haven't had the guts to do it yet. Triggered? Good. I first heard about the 20 rep squat routine when I bought Stuart McRoberts' classic hard gainer Bible Brawn back in 2010. And the squat alone is stressed to the max in Stuart McRoberts' book. And here's a few reasons why this routine has been stressed to the max in this book and in most bodybuilding lore. It's basic. There are quite a few variations of it, but they're all full body routines. And for the most part, they consist of solely compound exercises. And as I've said numerous times already, there's no better way to get more bang for your buck than full body routines consisting of compound movements. Real cardio. I said it, real cardio. It's no secret the squat is the one exercise that burns the most calories. But it also increases your heart rate more than any other exercise, which inevitably leads to an increase in your metabolism. Imagine performing a top set of 20 breathing squats, and you are absolutely taking your time between every single rep. You're practically doing 20 singles there with the bar on your back. If you don't feel your heart pounding by the middle of the set, you're doing it wrong. Massive growth. High reps for legs are far more effective for your quads thanks to the extra growth stimulus that it provides. If you stand and walk all day, then your legs need extra stimulation to grow. This will without fail provide systemic growth for the entire body. There's no way you can't achieve hypertrophy any other way in this case. This routine was first addressed by Randall J. Strassen, Ph.D. in his book, Super Squats, How to Gain 30 Pounds of Muscle in 6 Weeks. And it was innovated by John McCallum way back in the day, early 20th century. But according to Stuart McRobert in Brawn, it was Iron Man Magazine's founder Perry Rader who used the 20 rep squat routine in the 30s to gain 80 pounds within a year and eventually become a weightlifting champion. And he was a pusher of the 20 rep squat routine until the day he died. And some golden era bodybuilders such as my man, Tom Platz, turned his own legs into practical weapons of death itself because of his use of this approach. And sometimes he'd hit even more than 20 reps. I kid you not. So before we go into this routine, I must stress right now, from my own personal experience using this routine, this is far more of a mental game than it is a physical game. If you're not focused, you won't be able to last past maybe rep 13, 14, depending on if you're doing this the right way or not, especially if you're new to this routine. I'm intentionally providing you with an abbreviated version of this routine, which can be found in Brawn, because I want you to focus on maximum growth stimulus, especially if you're just starting over or if you think you identify as a hard gainer. You will only perform one top set of squats for 20 reps after a few warm-up sets. And you're going to make sure that your top set is not too hard, but it's still kind of challenging. It's the only way this is going to work. There are a few ways to perform this routine. You could perform the following 3 days a week. You could do, after a little bit of a cardio warm up or something, you could squat. This is straight out of Braun. Squat for a set of 20, immediately followed by breathing dumbbell pullovers, which is supposed to help you expand your rib cage after you're done squatting, followed by bench press, and then followed by bent over rows. That is the abbreviated routine. I did not give you a rep scheme, as you could find in the article, because I'm letting you choose the reps here. I'm letting you choose the reps because I could easily give you 3 sets of 8 to 12, but I think that part ought to be determined based on instinct, especially after doing a brutal set of 20. You might feel you're a little too tired to do 3 sets of something, whatever. You could want to do 4 sets and break up the amount of reps you do, or 5 by 5, or maybe even more than that. This is up to you. Let it be on instinct. Don't worry about a cookie cutter program, all right? Another thing you can do is you could also, if you want to switch the bench press with the squat, you might feel that the squat is taking away from your bench press, you're drained. And if you feel like that's the case, go ahead and switch to 2 if you wish. And also, if you feel that 3 days a week is proving to be too much, simply perform this twice a week instead. So maybe a Monday or a Thursday or a Tuesday or a Friday, Sunday or Wednesday. There's also other conflicting things that could happen. Work schedule, life commitments, which leads me to a variation I developed in 2011 based on my own schedule and recovery time. I separated them into 2 days. Day one, I just did squat and the breathing pullovers, and that was it. That's all I worried about. And then day two was bench press, followed by chin-ups, followed by dips, followed by crunches. And I would add weight to the dips and the crunches, dips and the chin-ups as time went on. This essentially makes it a lower body, upper body split. But since I'm trying to stress abbreviation for the sake of growth, stimulus, and recovery, if you can't get in 3 days a week due to commitments of any time, this might be an optimal option. The first routine in particular ought to be performed just for 6 weeks. Any attempt to continue past that could potentially lead to a physical or mental burnout, or both. You could get, just tired of it, and mental preparedness and physicality go hand in hand. I know this for a fact. I know this from my own experience. There's a reason why I took a month off from the gym last summer. Due to tragedies, my brain wasn't in there, and therefore my strength was not what it was just days or a week, just months earlier. It's a fantastic routine for beginners all the way to advanced lifters. A recommendation I will make right now is to try and squat your own body weight for a top set of 20. I've done it, and I had great results, not just in the size and the shape of my quads, but for the way it carried over, even as an accessory. I did it as an accessory exercise, and it really carried over to the strength of my squat on my main squat day when I was squatting 350 pounds, which was double my body weight, and as well as into my deadlift strength when I deadlifted 410 pounds last June, right before the said tragedy. So this is a great routine. Make no mistake, it's an absolutely brutal routine, but put the work in, grow a set, just put your mind to it, and you will reap the rewards. Before I go, just remember I am still offering my quarantine training for those of you who are still financially struggling because of the coronavirus, or those of you who still do not have a gym. The link will be in the description box. Let me know what you want to do. Let's talk.